All right, guys, we're back in the old studio this week. Check it out. We got a familiar background. Had my little dodgy phone video for last week, which I think went okay. It was only a short one. If you want to check that out before we get into this, it was a power ranking video as well. It only goes for a couple of minutes. I'll link it up here. Go check it out, then come back in here. We're back to talk. What are we talking about? Assen. What a place. What a place. We're talking Assen. We're talking all three classes. We're talking power rankings. We're talking winners and losers, our honourable mentions, our dishonourable mentions from the weekend. Now, guys, at the end of the video, we're going to be discussing some news that's popped up. Very important news has popped up. The Maverick news is coming at the end. All right, I'm going to tell you what I think about this announcement, what I think about Mav in this situation, and what I think about Aprilia in this situation. So that's at the end of the video. But first, let's rank them by power, shall we? Chin chin. Decided to do a little bit different this week. I mean, it's a tough decision. The bottom of the power rankings is always the hardest. Sort of from like 7th, 8th to like what would be almost 14th, right? It's getting guys to fit in those spots is always hard. The guys at the top sort themselves out. They win races, right? The guys at the bottom here is a little bit more difficult because they're all pretty even. You've got guys from Moto 3 and Moto 2 that you think might be doing okay. You've got your Moto GP guys who are just so hot and cold at the moment. Do go back and watch last week's video. Like, you'll see that I had Mark snuck in there after his Saxon Ring ride. But then do you find places for him after this week? So it is difficult. I've decided this week, give number 10. He was there a couple of weeks ago. Back to Sergio Garcia for his second place in Moto 3 this week. He rode at the front the whole time. Pace was hot at the front in Moto 3 this week. Probably could have won the race if not for our number 9 man, which is Dennis Foggia. Now, Dennis Foggia's had a weird season. He was brilliant at the weekend. That's why I put him at number 9. It was excellent. But then I went back and had a bit of a look, and I thought to myself, noticed him get on the podium quite a bit. He had a win in Mugello. He's won here now in Assen. I remembered he got a podium at Saxon Ring. So I decided to go have a look at his season. He's popped up in 3rd in the championship now. He's a long way off. He's a long way off, to be fair. Maybe he doesn't warrant being in this position. But like I like race winners, and he's won 2. And like I said, his last 4 races, he's had a first, a DNF, a third, and a first. In the whole season, the 5 races prior to them, he went DNF, second, DNF. He's only finished 4 races. But when this guy finishes, he finishes on he's in contention for the race win. I've decided to put him in there because if this guy finished more races, we would have a title fight in our hands. I like him. Dennis, the least Italian name for an Italian motorbike rider ever, by the way. Dennis. Sounds like your neighbour's dad or something. Up to number 8 and down 2 places this week after a crash when he could have just banked. Is Jack Miller. Very disappointing. I mean, no one was probably more disappointed than him, obviously, and he sounded pretty disappointed. Everything I heard from him after the race. Got to stay on there. I thought he was probably good for a 6th, maybe behind Oliveira. Just follow him home, and then you bank those points. Live to fight another day. He's dropped himself 5th in the World Championship now. Not good. He was on a nice little run of consistency. He just needed to keep that. But yeah, no good. Into 7th and holding position despite the fact that he's jumped Miller, and we'll see why after him. But holding in 7th is Pecco Bagnaia. Goes back up to 3rd in the World Championship. Did what Miller should have done, just banked. Had the long lap penalty. Still brought it home in a decent position. I guess. Fine. Well done. Holds position this week. Number 6, race winner. He's up 2 places. That's why Pecco stays where he is. Raul Fernandez goes up 2 places. Masterful ride this weekend. Got sent. I mean, he had a horror first lap. He was getting beaten up from pillar to post, and he still sort of just... It looked like he could have panicked. Just kept his head. He's like settled in and just started taking them out one by one. He had to come from like 9th or 10th or something. And then when he got to the front, didn't burn his tyres at all. He'd kept something somehow, and he just went. The boys behind him couldn't go with him. Remy probably knew that he wasn't on that pace this weekend. He just set himself up to try and beat whoever was second, but he just was not on Raul Fernandez's pace, and Raul Fernandez has that in his locker. Okay, and that's our 10th to 6th done. That's our bottom half of our top 10 done. And I'm going to save us all a bit of time here by doing this. because the top 5 is unchanged. I couldn't find any reason for movement between these guys. Miguel Oliveira, solid ride, came in 5th, fine, yep, good, holds position. Pedro Acosta, what did he do? He came 4th, I think. Didn't get to qualify, just got run over in practice, I think. Danger, I was very lucky not to get badly injured or worse with that. Another bad incident in Moto3. But look, came from the back. I don't know where he ended up starting after all that, because a few guys start from Pilar, they have ride-throughs or something. Probably helped him a little bit, but got up to 4th, was in the fight for the win. Probably just didn't have that edge, that little X factor, but he could have been in pain. I mean, I don't know. So he has held position this week. No need to demote him for a 4th place when he got run over by a motorcycle couple of days ago. Leaving in 4th, Yuan Zarco stays 3rd, solid ride, banked 4th place. No reason to drop him, no reason to put him up. Remy, I mentioned Remy in the Ralph Fernandez analysis there. Again, I'm really, really impressed with this guy. I think he's brilliant. Did all the right things again this weekend, other than, like I said, if you know you're not got the pace of your teammate and he's going to ride away from you, you got to accept that. You can't go with him. Aim for whoever's coming second, set yourself up, pick him off at the end of the race. Done. Job done. Go home. We've got a break now. Bank your points. Come back next time. And then Fabio's Fabio. He's been untouchable at the top of these power rankings, just because even when he has a bad week, the next week he has a good one. So Fabio was excellent again, and that's our top 10. Done. Now let's talk dishonourable and honourable mentions, shall we? Okay, honourable mention, we are going to talk about this, like I said, later on again. But Maverick, look, when you have a good day, you have a good day. He had a great weekend. Yeah, we'll talk about this in a minute. Joan Mir was really good. Probably unlucky not to find himself in the top 10 this week. But like I said, I want to get those Moto3 boys in there. Just mix it up a bit. I want to say Mark, and I also don't, because he was pathetic on Saturday. And then to recover to 7th was awesome. I take the whole weekend into account, lads. So, I mean, yeah, it was, I guess, honourable mention. Aleix again, yeah, solid. Taka Nakagami had a really good, I felt real bad for the guy, but he did make mistakes during the race, but showed himself, which is what his Japanese manufacturer would like. Get yourself at the front, put yourself on telly a bit. Dishonourable mentions. Oh, actually, yeah, Garrett Gerloff had a good weekend too. Good on him. Got on the bike, did some stuff. Whatever. Did a good job. Didn't finish plumb last out of the finishes, which I thought was kind of impressive. But that also leads us into Luke Marini. Dishonourable mention. Don't be coming last, lad. Rossi, he looked like he had decent pace this week and binned it hard. He binned it. Snapped his bike in half. And I think that Brad Binder was fucking useless this week. But let's talk Mav. Alright, because we need to talk Mav this week. Because news has come through this morning that he will split with Yamaha for next season. He's gone. Alright. Now, this will be put down as a mutual thing. Obviously, Maverick wasn't happy about his horrible treatment from Yamaha. I think a little bit of this must be Yamaha. It must be. Now, I don't know what you guys make of this, but I think they pretty much wanted him gone. I think they've come to probably a mutual... I'd say it'll be a mutual agreement. It'll be a mutual termination, whatever kind of thing going on, mutual contract termination. And I think this is the best thing for everyone involved, because Mav don't want to be there. Yamaha don't want him there. But for me, this raises a few questions, because the obvious money here, all the reports are saying that it's because he's going to go to Aprilia. Fine. Aprilia want to get a race winner on the books, an experienced race winner. So it makes sense from that perspective. But the real question for me is, why would Aprilia want to do this? Where does this put them? Okay, Maverick's Maverick. We know what's going to happen when he gets there. Unless the bike's fucking sensational, he's going to complain about something. Something's not going to be right. He's not going to be winning races on that bike when he's on a bike now that he can win races on. So if he has done this just specifically to get himself to Aprilia, it's a strange decision for me. I think he'd be smarter holding on to that Yamaha ride with two hands while he's got it, because no one else, what major factory is going to take him seriously to go and lead the line for him? You know what I mean? I can't see it. So obviously he's going to want to get in on the whole Aprilia thing, because they're going to welcome him with open arms. But if you look at it from the perspective that I'm looking at it from, where it's just sort of the dumb thing, is that if you can get yourself a high profile race winner, you get it. But is this the right high profile race winner for them? I don't think it is. He's shown a distinct lack of ability to kind of develop a bike in his own image kind of thing, hasn't he? I mean, it was always Rossi's bike when he was there with Rossi. And then Rossi started to slow down a bit, and so they maybe focused a bit more towards Mav. And in that little period between that little focus switching to Maverick a bit and the focus switching then, bringing in Fabio Quartararo, somehow the bike suits Fabio perfectly, just about. And it doesn't suit Maverick at all, because he's only good on it when the grip levels are really good and he can get the confidence. Whereas though Fabio seems to be able to push it on all kinds of circuits in all different conditions. If you've allowed your team to develop a bike that suits bloody new guy more than you, are you the right guy to go into a team that Alicia's been developing a bike for bloody eternity, since Federation, right? And go in and then make that and take it, make it yours and turn it into a race winner yourself? I don't think he can. So where would Aprilia be better off going? I think the smart money for them is somewhere else. Definitely somewhere else. Have you got a hot talent you can bring up? And I say hot talent, I know they can't attract the best talents, but can you go left field? What can you work for yourself? Is there anyone in Superbikes? Is there anyone in Moto2 that you can look at? Is there anyone at other teams that may be a little bit unwanted soon? I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe they got to the point where they literally couldn't get anyone else on the bike. And so they've gone, well, there's a guy that actually wants to, and he's a race winner, so let's get him. If that's the case, go on. Go ahead, I'd do the same. But does this mean Dovy's kind of been a bit... Because I'd take Dovey. I'd 100% take old man Dov over not so old man Maverick if I wanted to develop a race winning bike and have someone on it that can just maybe win some races on it. That's what I don't get here. There's something I really don't understand about all this. That's it. But yeah, my only assumption can be that they know something that they're not sharing with everyone else in terms of who they can attract as a rider, and this is their best option. Or they've been sold by the name, the big name, the bright lights, an unhappy Maverick Vinales race-winning experienced rider, and they've gone snatch it up. But they're the only two. They're the two things. There can only be one of those two things, guys. And yeah, now I've got a big old break. What is it? August the 13th. No, August the 6th. Why is this backwards? August the 6th. Jesus. 6 weeks. Who made this calendar? August the 6th, we'll be back. I'm going to try and smash out some videos. We're going to do some content that isn't just directly race related. We're going to do, and I don't mean that in terms of race related, you know what I mean, don't worry. We're going to be doing some, I'm going to do some top 10 lists and some fun stuff. All right, guys, maybe throw another circuit profile in there. Yeah, and that's it. 6 weeks off. What the hell? Lucky the Euros are on. I mean, F1, we got the F1s obviously next week. They're back in Spielberg. Let me know what you're doing with your 6 weeks. If you're like me, it's fine. I watch lots of different sports. I like the Tour de France. I like tennis. I watch Wimbledon. I've got the F1s. I've got the Euros. I'll be okay. Tell me what you're doing to cope. If you're purely MotoGP fan and you're not really into the other sports or whatever, what are you doing with this time? I mean, is Superbikes on? I think Superbikes might be on. Everybody should watch Superbikes, by the way. Superbikes is great. Let me know what you're going to be doing for 6 weeks. And yeah, once again, guys, thank you for sticking through to the end of the video. If you have, I really do appreciate it. Small channel. Every little bit that you do, watch to the end, hit a like, subscribe, whatever. Leave a comment, leave a thumbs up in the comments. If you don't want to hit like, that's fine. It's the same thing. Just engage. Every little thing helps when we're trying to sort of get on the algorithm and stuff like that, so we can spread to more people, share the love. We want lots of people to watch these videos. But yeah, cheers for sticking through it. I've got myself a nice little beer and gonna go enjoy the rest of that. And that's it. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you on the next video. Hopefully it's not too far away.